Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. You know, we always like what we are good at. So if we play a game and we're good at that game, we like that game. The same in school. You know, the classes that you're good at, you like. The classes that you're not good at, you don't like, or vice versa. So I have here a little article that shows that the Ukrainians like war all of a sudden. And they're not about negotiating because they think that they can, kneel the Russian Federation, which I doubt. So this article comes from Ukrainska Pravda from the 13th of September 2022. Kuleba states under what conditions Ukraine will enter into negotiations with Russia. And I was like, okay, man, look, you provided about 2 weeks ago some conditions, like 6 of them. Not like, exactly 6. So let's see what this guy is saying. Dmytro Kuleba, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine, has stated that Ukraine does not reject negotiations with Russia, but is ready to agree to them only when it comes to the full restoration of territorial integrity. Excellent. That's good. That's good. And the Russians will say yes. Quote from the minister: "No one rejects the option of negotiations. Every war ends with negotiations. But it is in your position at the negotiation table that matters. Today, negotiations with Russia are being conducted on the battlefield. And this is the only type of negotiations that it really understands." Well, Kuleba, I think you're missing a lot of things here. Willingly. But we are ready to sit down at the table when it comes to the complete restoration of the territorial integrity of Ukraine. And we are articulating this very clearly to our partners, handlers. They have also not ruled out the possibility of negotiations. Now, Kuleba, what you're telling me, or us, is that you want to go back to February 24th, right? Maybe 23rd, when you had your territorial integrity, right? As much as you could, because some of your citizens did not want to be with you anymore. So you actually want to go to get the Russian army out, as it was before the 24th, right? And then you're in the same position you were in the 23rd, when you were not negotiating. So why didn't you negotiate from 2014, right? The Minsk agreements, protocol, whatever, 2 of them, right? Until 2022, you did not fix things. You may say, well, it was the Russians. Well, there were very clear stipulations in the Minsk agreements that your country, was supposed to implement, and they didn't. And the weasels, Germans and the French, who were the guarantors of those, were just either blocked by the United States to act or were impotent. So, or it was the club that they agreed to just screw those guys up. Like, yeah, we're going to sign, but we're not going to do anything. Let them be. And in the meantime, maybe we kill all the people over there in the eastern Ukraine, and therefore it's not going to be necessary for us to implement anything. All right, so Mr. Kuleba now all of a sudden says that the prior conditions, prior war, that were offered before the war, were good to negotiate, but then were bad? What's changed? I mean, why should I believe this guy when, let's say, 2021, he did not negotiate, he did not implement what his country was legally bound internationally through those signing the Minsk agreements, and now he's going to will negotiate. Why? What changed? A lot of people died, a lot of people hurt, and so on. Is that what's going on? And if we go by how these guys here always say, why won't they just stop fighting? And they don't like peace. Kuleba, stop fighting. They say, we're going to negotiate right now. No, we're not going to fight, and just reach for peace. No? And then we say, wait a second. Like the logical thing that they would mention here, but they never mentioned before. Hey, wait a second, we all love peace, but we want to see the conditions of the peace, So all of a sudden, the Ukrainians had a little victory here and there, and they think that they have the upper hand. Did you look on the map? Did you see where the hostilities occur, where the counteroffensive was successful? And that's going to wane down. That's my assessment, but I've been wrong before, and I will be in the future. And I'm ready to acknowledge that in public if I made statements in public, because it's a weasel move when you insult someone in public and then you apologize in private. No, you weasel, you come with me. We're going to get the same people in public, and in public you say, I'm sorry, I apologize. Which, if I make mistakes, I apologize in public if I made the statements and I was wrong. So this Kuleba, I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I know what he's doing. I think I know what he's doing, but it's just a weasel move. He wants to go back to February 23rd, 2022, when he had the opportunity for 8 years. And I don't believe him. And now he thinks that he's going to impose a peace because he had one effort, and the Russians, they're going to collapse. What if that's all they got? And they want to, what if that's all they got? And the Russians are just going to push them back. When are they going to negotiate? Because they say, well, now we're in a good situation, we're going to push them out. Well, I don't think it's going to happen. Let's start with this one. I give you 1%. Because if that will be the case, then, I don't know, Russia is going to go forever gone. And that's not going to happen. Unless you're a traitor over there. I don't think Putin is a traitor. Details. According to Kuleba, international partners, handlers, agreed that there are currently no indications that Russia is ready for such serious negotiations, or that the conditions for such negotiations are already in place. Russia was always open for negotiation. I haven't heard any statements from any guy saying we're not going to negotiate. No, we're going to negotiate, but the more we advance, our demands will get higher and higher, more and more, aggressive, or however you want to call them. So Russia always said, yes, we're ready whenever you guys are, but our 4 demands. We're gonna fulfill all those 4. So when you come and talk to us, this is what it's gonna be. And this guy says the conditions are not the right ones. You had the conditions 8 years. Now what? The minister added that Ukraine is currently struggling to regain every square kilometer of its territory and wants to regain control of the occupied areas. Now he says this, that at the same time Kuleba suggested that part of the territory of Ukraine will be liberated by military means and part perhaps by diplomatic means. And then we have here another Kuleba. He also noted that at the moment when Russia gives a serious signal of readiness for negotiations. What do we need to do? They have to strip down their clothes, or what's the serious one? We'll have to very carefully analyze why this signal was sent. Okay, we'll see. It's basically, you're not serious. I want peace, man. No, you're not serious. But I want peace. No, you're not serious. It's like, come on. I mean, we're not kids here. And this is what he says. But then a logical question arises. If at this moment we are successfully on our offensive and we are liberated our territories, why do we need to agree on something with the aggressor? Well, isn't the reverse true? For the Russians, if they are attacking and they're winning, why should they negotiate with you? And they were always open for negotiation. So you see how is different. Our ultimate goal is the liberation of our territories. It's true, territory, not people. We are not at war with them in order to sit down and somehow agree that they will stay there. Well, that's true. They will not, and it's going to be about fighting. We're going to win or we're going to lose. But you see how this guy says? They're not serious. I didn't find anything not serious coming from the Russians regarding negotiations. Now that you're winning, as I said, you don't want to negotiate. But why did you want the Russians to negotiate with you all those 6 months and they're still successful? You had a little success. It's going to be gone in 3 days. And then what, Kuleba? Then you're going to start lying again? Basically. And you're going to say this. This is a weasel, but it's not hard to catch his little weasel-like methods. Anyway, I think the Russians will regroup and will push these guys back, and with mobilization or without the mobilization. I think the Ukrainians, this was their last jerk or spasm, and then they had a little success, and then it will be done. Where? They got the army from where? They had the same number before, and all of a sudden they do this counteroffensive. The Russians are depleted. They have 145 million people they can pick from, the whole country. Obviously, the adults are not that many, but you understand what I'm saying. So yeah, Kuleba doesn't want now. He thinks he's strong. This is a game. Yeah, I'm strong right now. I'm not gonna negotiate. Come and negotiate now because we're on good terms. No, you're not in good situation. That's why the Russians, yeah, negotiate, but we're still going to. That's what they say. The Russians, still their statements are, we're gonna complete our special operations. All the goals, and we know the goals. Their goals are not negotiating with guys right now. But come and talk. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.